This video on the YouTube channel Blocks, Bonds, Funds is created for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute financial or investment advice. All investments carry risk. Viewers are strongly encouraged to conduct their own research and consult qualified financial professionals before making any financial decisions.
All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on one of the buzziest topics in the entire crypto space: non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. We're going to figure out what they really are, how they work, and, why they might just change how we think about owning, well, anything in the digital world. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the big problem NFTs are trying to solve. Then we'll break down the key idea of fungibility. Sounds complicated, but it's not. After that, we'll look under the hood at how NFTs actually work, check out some really cool real-world uses, weigh the pros and cons, and finally, we're going to clear up the biggest misconception out there: the difference between owning an NFT and owning a copyright. Okay, so let's get to the heart of the matter. In our digital lives, making a perfect copy of a file is as simple as a right-click. It's instant and it's free. But this creates a massive problem when you start to think about what ownership even means.
I mean, really think about it for a second. Ever since the early days of the internet with things like Napster, this has been a huge challenge. If you can just download a perfect replica of a song or save a copy of an image someone posted, who's the real owner? This ability to copy things endlessly has always kind of destroyed the whole idea of digital scarcity and true ownership.
And this is precisely the puzzle that non-fungible tokens are designed to solve. They're a new kind of tool that gives us a way to create one-of-a-kind digital assets in a world where, up until now, everything could be copied a million times over.
Now, to really get how NFTs pull this off, we have to understand a really important idea from economics, and that's the difference between something that's fungible and something that's non-fungible.
And really, this is everything. It all boils down to this one question: can you swap it for another one just like it? Fungible things are interchangeable. Think about it. A dollar is a dollar. A Bitcoin is a Bitcoin. If you lend me one, I can give you back a different one of the exact same value. But non-fungible items, they're unique. They're one of a kind. A famous painting or a specific concert ticket for seat A1. You can't just swap it for another. And that's the core idea. So here it is, broken down. On one side, you've got fungible stuff, like cash, where one is just as good as another. On the other side, you have non-fungible things, where each one is totally unique. You just can't exchange them on a one-to-one basis because they have their own distinct properties. It's this uniqueness that's so important.
This chart just makes it super clear. Look at fungible assets. They're all about identical units. Every dollar bill has the same value as every other dollar bill. But with non-fungible assets, each one is unique and has its own individual value. My front row ticket isn't the same as your ticket in the back row, right? That uniqueness is everything.
And that brings us to the big reveal. An NFT is basically just taking that concept of non-fungible, of uniqueness, and applying it to the digital world. It's a special, one-of-a-kind token that lives on a blockchain, and it acts as a public, rock-solid proof of ownership. You can think of it as a digital certificate of authenticity.
So how does this whole thing actually happen? I mean, how do you take a regular digital file and turn it into this secure, tradable asset? Let's break it down.
Okay, so it all kicks off with a process called minting. It's a fancy word, but it just means creating that unique token on the blockchain that's going to represent your digital file. Now, here's a key point. The token itself doesn't usually hold the actual artwork or song. Instead, it holds metadata. That's just info like the artist name, a description, and, crucially, a link to where the actual file lives. This token, this digital certificate, is then saved on a public blockchain like Ethereum, and from then on, smart contracts take over to handle all the buying and selling.
And these smart contracts are really the secret sauce. They're basically just little computer programs that automatically run the show. When you buy an NFT, a smart contract checks that you paid and then automatically transfers ownership to you. There's no need for a middleman. You can even program them to do cool stuff, like automatically pay the original artist a little royalty every single time the NFT is sold in the future.
And the foundation for all of this is the blockchain. Because it's a public, unchangeable ledger, every single transaction is recorded forever, for everyone to see, from the moment it was first created to every single time it's been sold. This creates this perfect, transparent history of ownership, its provenance, that anybody can go and check for themselves.
Now, you've probably seen all the crazy headlines about digital art selling for millions of dollars. But trust me, the potential for this technology goes way, way beyond just art.
Oh yeah, the possibilities are huge. Imagine in a video game, you could truly own that rare sword you found and then sell it on a marketplace outside of the game. Or musicians could sell ownership shares of a new song directly to their biggest fans. What about concert tickets that are literally impossible to fake? Or your university diploma living on the blockchain so you can prove you graduated to anyone at any time. It's so much bigger than art. It's about verifiable digital property of all kinds.
But, like with any brand new technology, it's not all perfect. NFTs have some really powerful upsides, but also some pretty serious risks. So let's get a balanced look at this. So on the good side, NFTs give us something we've never had before: clear, undeniable proof of ownership in the digital world. They finally let creators make their digital work scarce and unique. And they open up brand new ways for creators to make money, like those automatic royalties we talked about. And of course, the transparency of it all helps build trust.
But, and this is a big but, the risks are absolutely real. The prices can be insanely volatile. It's a very speculative market. And because it's so new, there are a lot of scams out there. Plus, there are some really important technical details to be aware of. For instance, the actual file, the image or song, usually isn't stored on the blockchain itself. If the server where it's stored goes down, your NFT could end up pointing to, well, nothing. And that brings us to the number one point of confusion.
Okay, let's nail this down once and for all, because this is the one thing that trips up almost everyone when they're first starting out.
So here's the million-dollar question. You buy an NFT? Does that mean you own the copyright to the art itself?
And the answer in almost every single case is a big, fat no. When you buy an NFT, you are buying ownership of the token, that unique record on the blockchain. You are not automatically buying the intellectual property rights to the actual art. The original creator still holds the copyright unless they sign a separate legal agreement to transfer it to you. This is honestly the perfect way to think about it. Your NFT is like your own provably authentic, officially signed digital print. You own that print, and you can prove to anyone that you own it. But just like owning a poster of the Mona Lisa doesn't give you the right to start printing your own copies and selling them, owning the NFT doesn't give you the copyright to the original file.
So what does this all mean? We're left with a really powerful question to think about. For the first time ever, we have a way to create true, provable scarcity and ownership for things that are purely digital. This is a massive shift. So how do you think this ability to truly own unique digital items, from art and music to our very identities, is going to reshape our relationship with the digital world as we know it?